Hey, you guys, welcome back to Lotus TV 444. I'm back. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to get in here because I have a very special message for all of you. And I love seeing you here, Renee. I see you showing up bright and early, girl. I see you and I appreciate that. It's nice to see you, of course. But let's give everybody a chance to get in here. And I want to share something with you while we do. This is called freedom. Hey. Hey. Be sure to hit that like button, y'all. Today, we're using these. Huh. Look, here we go. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my water. Well, hey. What's up? Y'all know I missed y'all, right? I missed y'all too. What do we call that? Thank you. Hey. Hey. Hey, hey. Hey, thank God it's Friday. Let's get wound up, y'all. Ready? Okay, let me stop. All right. Look, here we go. I appreciate y'all. Yes. All right. So first of all, let's do this mic check before we get into the messages, because there are a lot of messages I need to share with you guys today. And if you guys could, everybody in the chat right now, if you're not a silent hater, go ahead and drop a like. Do something. Hit that like button. Show some love for the Lotus Squad. Show that you're happy to be able to be in this tribe. Share that you're ready for the message. Like the message. Just show your love. Because everything that I'm about to speak on today is going to resonate in a major way. And it's going to put the pieces together for you in ways that maybe you have either already realized or on your way to realizing. And there's also some energies that I want to touch on, especially with this being the new moon in Aquarius. And keep in mind, this is following the full moon in Cancer back a couple of weeks ago with the lunar eclipse as well. So there's a lot going on with that. Just because we are out of those full moon energies doesn't necessarily mean that we are out of those energies, right? And at the beginning of the month, there's been a lot going on, you know, everything from natural disasters to, you know, light workers and people by the drove starting to wake up and become more in tune with the universe. They're starting to see a lot more synchronicities, such as, you know, the repetitive angel numbers that we've been touching on. Seeing specific messages coming across different spiritual teachers, coming across even mentors, and just starting to break past the barrier that's been placed upon us throughout the majority of 2019. So I wanted to share my experience with you guys because I feel like in some way, maybe some of you guys could get something out of it, of value or something positive from it, because it's all about going through that dark night of the soul, as the title clearly states. And this particular experience doesn't just happen once. And it's funny because as I say that, it makes me think about a conversation that I had with someone that, you know, I hadn't talked to in a while. We just started talking again. We've been kind of, you know, having a heart to heart and figuring things out and realizing that, especially during this journey of the dark night of the soul, I remember that I made a comment about it as we were just catching up and telling each other what we've been through. And so the dark night of the soul, I remember saying, you know, healing isn't just a one-time process. And especially when it comes to the dark night of the soul, it is not a one-time process. It is a lifetime process. This can kind of coincide with even, you know, dealing with addictions or dealing with any traumas, overcoming PTSD and healing. It always is a day-by-day effort. The learning and the healing never stops. And it's funny because the reason why I told, you know, this person that is because they felt like they were good where they were at, you know, they were comfortable. And it made me think about that word as well, kind of segueing into the idea of comfort. And it's time now, especially during this year, to break past that comfort zone and to break past certain barriers, even self-imposed barriers that we were struggling with, throughout the years, throughout the past decade. So through this experience, through all of this, and while I've been away, I've really been looking at the trajectory of where I want my life to go and where it's going. And I'm looking at everything as it is. I'm taking it for what it is rather than what I think it should be or where I want it to be. And through this experience, especially, they always seem to say that when you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. And there is very much truth in that statement. But during those lows, during that rock bottom, and throughout these experiences, some people cannot handle it. Some people are not ready to face certain things about their own lives, themselves, maybe, some hidden things that maybe we keep hidden from the outside world, dealing with societal expectations and wanting to, to feel like we belong somewhere and to feel like we fit somewhere. And so dealing with certain things that'll come up during this process and during this, theoretical rock bottom, it takes a lot of introspection. It takes looking directly in the mirror and taking it for what it is, as stated before, looking at things as they are, looking at the self as you are. And it led me to start thinking about the many different attachments that I've held on to in life, attachments to people, attachments to drug use, attachments to alcohol, attachments to even, smoking, and attachments to, vanity and greed and materialism and all these different things that the ego seems to love to dwell in. And, I found myself even dealing with the throes of addiction, towards being addicted to sadness, being addicted to a specific mode of, living, a specific way of life. And a lot of these things are starting to become a lot more understood for me. I can understand why I've gotten through all that I've gotten through. And I'm understanding why certain people can't come along, my journey. I'm understanding why I've had to deal with certain, spiritual experiences and dealing with my awakening in this dark night of the soul alone. And I've understood that attachment to all of these different things within my life is something that I never quite dealt with. Among other things about myself, that through, different heart to hearts and through trying to not necessarily rekindle relationships, but just to kind of, see eye to eye on some things. All of these experiences, even going back, kind of reverting back and regressing a little bit emotionally and with communication and trying to go back to who I identified myself to be, when I would suppress my emotions or would have nowhere to turn, I wouldn't have, that support system that I do now. And so it's been putting a lot into perspective, especially with this journal, this journey with this channel, this journey with, my own spiritual awakening. And I believe that because I want this channel to be Lotus TV 444, this is all about sharing my story and sharing my experiences with you all. And hopefully maybe something can come of it for you, for those of you that may be going through certain struggles alone or going through certain things that you may be taking a couple steps back and, having to face again, having to rehash. And so, as stated before, going back to that whole thing where healing is not just a one-time, experience, and dealing with the dark night of the soul is not just a one-time experience. Some of us may get caught up in the confusion of, wondering why we're having to seemingly relearn certain things that we've already known throughout the years, things that we've already learned. We may be frustrated with ourselves, with the position that we are in life. Maybe we want to move and break past not just internal barriers, but external barriers, external influences, distractions even. Maybe we're realizing with certain relationships that they prove to be more a distraction and just more of a nice little convenience to avoid having to look at ourselves and to deal with that shadow self, to deal with that inner child that has been neglected and ignored. And especially with this channel and just with this journey and coming across so many beautiful souls such as yourselves, it's really shifted my life in a major way. And it's really put a lot of things into perspective about where I want to go and what I want my message to be. What is Lotus TV? What is this all supposed to be? Who am I? And what do I want to convey to my viewers? And it goes back to the whole wanting to step away a little bit and detach again from that sense of attachment, even through social media, even through my desires, even through, the chasing of your dreams. Sometimes that could turn into a trap and, make us strive for things that we realize in the end aren't really ours when it's all said and done, when we transcend this 3D realm onto, going home, going back to the divine, becoming one with the universe yet again. And so there's a lot that's being pushed to the surface. And there's a lot that we need to look at when it comes to our core selves. Why do we seemingly attract certain, personality types? Why are we, dealing with certain issues and insecurities within ourselves, doubts within ourselves, that maybe we're attracting in other people? All of these different things that we go through during this experience, it is meant to shake you up and to wake you up and to make you look at what's right in front of you for what it is, and to see what you're really attached to, and to question, what is it that I'm really desiring? What is it that I'm really after? Is this for the ego self, for the baser self, or is this for my higher purpose, my higher self? And I hope that you guys are following me, with what I'm trying to say. But there's so much that I'm trying to convey, because there's so much that's been learned, even with this little short time that I've had away. And it's been multiple times where I've been away, especially with this channel and with this journey as a whole. Especially having to step into that role of being, being someone that has to stand for myself, even when others may not be standing with me, and being challenged with having to face certain traumas that, even addiction to substances and trying to numb these things out. All of these things are obviously always going to be there, no matter what we try to do to numb it out, or to run away from these feelings, or to distract ourselves from these feelings. And I see that I've regressed a little bit in that aspect. And I don't want to, that's not a part of the message. I don't want to be that kind of, and I consider myself somewhat of a counselor. I don't want to be that kind of counselor, or that person, that people are looking to for answers. I'm still learning a lot about myself, and you guys have helped, especially with that journey. And, I'm blessed to be able to, to have been able to help those of you out there that I've been able to kind of help through that dark night of the soul. And I want everyone to know that it's okay to go through these things, but what it's not okay to do is to wallow. And sometimes we have a tendency, going back to that whole addiction to sadness, or holding on to this idea or concept or image of ourselves that may be outdated and obsolete at this point in time. And so I just want you guys to know that the message will always be about healing. It will always be about ascension. It will always be about the self. And I noticed along the way during this journey, I got caught up with the details of what we've been through, and kind of identifying more with what traumas have taken place, and fixating a little bit more on what's going on around us rather than what's going on within us, as much as I would have liked to. And so I feel like that needs to change. And with this experience for myself, I want you guys to understand something, that not only is it okay to go through, certain things over and over, no matter how many times you hit your head, or you feel like you're hitting a wall, at least you're knowing that you're still moving forward, and choosing to stay in the same place is not an option anymore. And I feel like at this point, if you're anything like me, I've noticed that a lot of people have been coming back. A lot of the same issues, such as, for example, some of the things I've learned about myself is this issue of control. You know, I attract very controlling people. And I look at how I handle myself and how I've been handling this channel, and wanting to have a control on how many views I get, wanting to control how people respond to the message, wanting to control, you know, that people are understanding where I'm coming from, not realizing that some people are just not there yet, or they're not trying to get there, or maybe, you know, they need a little bit more time to get there. But either way, everybody's not going to be on the same page at the same time all of the time. And everybody's not going to like what they see when they see me. Everybody's not going to understand what I'm doing and what my vision is and what my purpose is more than I. So I have to realize that everything can't always be perfect. And I have, you know, I have this tendency, and I blame my whole Virgo rising. I have this tendency to want everything to be perfect and to get caught up in the details to the point to where I forget, you know, to look at the forest for the trees. And I forget that the path forward and the path onward and upward is not a straight path. It is a spiral. So either we're on the upward turn or the downward spiral, but either or, it is our choice. It is our choice to choose what we want to focus on and who we want to be and how we're going to get there. We have to really start paying attention to what we're consuming. What are we watching? Is it sex driven? Is it drama filled? Is it negative? Is it chipping away at your spirit? Is it helping drive your inner fire within your belly? Is it pushing you and propelling you towards greatness that deep down you want, and that your inner voice is constantly screaming screaming at us for us to achieve whenever we try to distract ourselves or to numb things? And so this is going to be the specific experience that we will be confronted with and that we're going to have to work through. What do we choose to do? And some of us are going to be presented with a choice to stay the same or to move past what we think things should be, and to look past what we felt at one point in time about people, about circumstances, about our childhood, about ourselves. All these different things are going to be coming into question, and we're going to have to be looking at ourselves. What role do we have to play in some of the stressors in our lives? Are we holding on to toxic habits, people, places, and things out of fear? Are we holding on to this idea of who we are meant to be and who we are after all of the trauma and struggles? Are we staying in this ego-based sense of fear and insecurity? And are we allowing ourselves to be on the downward turn with all of this? And some of us are really having a hard time, especially when it comes to confronting certain relationships, especially outside of romantic relationships. Some of us are really starting to really look at ourselves, and we have to figure out, why are we attracting certain personalities? What is it that we see in ourselves, or what is it that we believe that we deserve deep down or subconsciously, that we are consistently projecting out into the universe and getting it back without even realizing it? What do we need to let go of? What resentments are we holding on to? Who do we need to forgive? Is it ourselves? Is it everyone else? Or do we realize that in order to forgive everyone else, we have to forgive ourselves? And even just by simply forgiving the self, we are in turn forgiving everyone else. What is it that we're holding on to? Is it resentment? Is it sadness? Is this idea and concept of who we're supposed to be, who we're meant to be? How about we release all of these expectations of ourselves and of where we should be in life and of what we, aspire to be, even when it comes to financial goals or, going outside of the box, so to speak, to Go higher. What do we need to do? What do we need to release? Because with all of the baggage that some of us are going to have to be working through and identifying, you know, all of these things, we really need to not only release once and for all, but we need to identify them in order for them to be changed. And some people just don't want to identify what's right in front of them because either it's too painful or they're too afraid, or, you know, maybe they don't have anyone around, or maybe they feel lonely and feel that it's their fault that they're alone, and that certain relationships don't always work out, you know, the best way that we want them to, or that, you know, we keep running into the same energies. Is it us? Is it our fault? Is it their fault? Is it no one's fault? What is it that we need to work through and identify within ourselves that we could change and improve? Because especially when it comes to not wanting to face certain traumas, you know, I see a lot of this happening again within myself where, you know, I've held on to this idea that I don't want to be like certain people. I don't want to be like my parents. I don't want to be like this, don't want to be like that. And not realizing that the resentment I've carried for many different years have transformed me in certain ways, in certain aspects, with my reactions and with who I attract in my life. It's affected me. It's continued to affect me. And it's no one's fault at that point but my own. Especially when it starts to affect my work and I'm expecting people to be better than what they are, rather than looking at things for what they are and accepting them for what they are. I see the Father of Cups. Some of us are being presented with someone here that is coming in. Someone has feelings here. Someone has something to offer, something to give. And this Father of Cups, you know, I put it back in the deck, but this Father of Cups, you know, this is the type of person that doesn't really, you know, they're not in tune with their intuition per se, but they know what's going on within. And this is the type of person that may have difficulties expressing these things. And some of us are coming across people that don't have difficulty expressing how they feel, but maybe it's all about timing. Someone's dealing with a breakup, dealing with financial woes. Some of us are still working through divorces. Some of us are working through unstable living situations, unstable workplace situations, you know, feeling lonely, surrounded by people within the family, feeling like the black sheep, feeling like the scapegoat, feeling like you can't seem to catch up when it comes to budgeting and trying to strive for that house, strive for that new car, strive for whatever it is that's outside of our comfort zone. Having a really difficult time dealing with loneliness. Some of us may be attracting certain people because certain people are preying on other people's loneliness, unwillingness to be with themselves. There may be someone here that we may have to let go, or we're realizing that they need to stay gone in order for us to continue along this journey with a sense of emotional balance here. Some of us may realize that, you know, all these hours that I'm working, I'm not happy. I don't have enough energy, you know, for my hobbies. I don't have enough energy for my passions, my creative pursuits. I don't have enough time for myself to just relax and enjoy the fruits of my labor. I'm taking care of everything else and everyone else, but who's taking care of me? A lot of us are being presented with these types of thoughts. And some of us are really starting to pay attention to who we've surrounded ourselves around out of loneliness. Some of us may go back to certain people or allow certain people to come in and out of our lives, or, you know, we're back and forth with certain people. Yes, out of love on one hand, but on the other, there is this fear of loneliness. Maybe we're fearing that we can't do any better, can't be any better. Maybe we've been told that by our family members, by exes, by friends even, or people that were supposed to be friends. You know, they're not rocking with you. They're not supportive. And it's left you feeling as though there's no foundation. Some of you guys may be having financial troubles because you've been helping everybody else and not receiving any help. Nobody is willing to pay it forward. Not that you were expecting anything in return, but some of these experiences here. Somebody's really feeling the loss. Somebody is moving out. Somebody's getting kicked out. Somebody is taking a huge loss in many different ways. But it's not necessarily a loss. It's a cycle that needed to be completed. There were many different relationships that had no foundation to begin with. And all of the sacrifices that we have made throughout our life, everything that we are being faced with having to let go. Some of us are having to let go of certain possessions that we may have had sentimental attachments to. Some of us are losing things unexpectedly. Maybe there are certain things happening within the home, leaks, plumbing issues, electrical issues, dealing with unexpected expenses, coming up with the car, with unexpected bills, auto pay issues, all these different things that we're contending with, along with the emotional aspect of feeling that we don't have that life raft, is really at the center of this entire reading, the entire energy. And I'm not sure what's going on with the audio. I mean, I'm looking down here and it's not moving. But I don't know. Some of you guys could be dealing with an issue where there's a third party situation that's already come to pass. We've already walked away, finalized a divorce, dealt with any legal issues, dealing with child support, court battles, things like that. These things are done. They're completed. And some of us are finally able to rest. Some of us are really struggling with this idea of what we would like our family to be. Maybe some of us are realizing and coming to terms with the fact that if we've always wanted a nurturing, regular mother that didn't go around spreading your business to everybody, that didn't go around abusing everybody and manipulating everyone and turning everyone against each other, or if we only had that fatherly figure that gave us that structure, that protected us, that made us feel loved, wanted, and supported, we're realizing that we just have to accept that certain people cannot be these things because they are either choosing not to do and be better than what they are, or they're simply too weak and will not allow themselves to look at some of the issues that's caused here. Some of us are dealing with issues concerning, children being affected by, a divorce, having a hard time with having two separate households. Maybe some children here, or maybe some of us are still overcoming someone feeling like they're in the middle of two parents and being used as pawns between two parents. There's a stalemate here. Everything is black and white with certain people here. And you can't really talk to anybody like that because they're not willing to be open to other people's perceptions or perceptions simply outside of their own. They're not willing to step outside of their comfort zone. They're not willing to open up. Some of us definitely have gone back to rehash for sure. And there are certain people that just simply do not know how to talk to us. Somebody's coming at somebody sideways, or, you know, somebody's always really defensive. Maybe there's a certain situation that somebody held inside for so many years and never addressed. And now that, you know, everybody is able to go back, regardless of whether you're able to see eye to eye, has now been the least of your concerns for once. And now you're realizing that you're getting to say everything that you need to say. But you're realizing that other people are not going to be as respectful as you. They're not going to try and come, you know, from a place of openness, a place of love, a place of, you know, kindness, respect, and empathy, rather. Somebody is consumed with destruction and darkness, despair, and not being able to sleep, and dealing with all of these regrets and all these, you know, things that they've been holding on to throughout their lives. Maybe we saw something, you know, extremely tragic and traumatic. Maybe we saw someone hurt, never got the image out of our head, or saw, you know, some things that, you know, maybe we haven't talked about with other people. Maybe we haven't, you know, dived deep and really identified as an issue. There are certain people that the pain is so great because of all of the things that they've been running from throughout their lives that they choose not to say anything at all, or, you know, they try to control the way that you see them, or they talk over you. They say things underhanded things. You know, they're very patronizing, condescending. They try to control every little thing that you do. They try to control the way you respond, the way you feel, the way you think. They just want to control everything about you. But when they're realizing that they have no control anymore, they may have had it, you know, had this sort of, you know, control over our minds, control over what we were able to say, especially, you know, dealing with childhood trauma, especially, you know, this person doesn't want to confront anything about themselves, but they will cut anyone else down, you know, to make themselves feel better. Or, you know, they have a lot of ugly things to say, you know, or they always have, you know, some observation about other people that, you know, is obviously in a negative light. They're very negative individuals. They're deceptive. You know, they speak in half truths, or they just simply don't tell the truth at all. They just make up shit on the fly. This is the type of person that loves to do smear campaigns. It could be an air sign here, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Maybe they've dealt with some traumas in their lives, but rather than facing all of the things that they have within themselves, they try to cut other people down whenever they're confronted. It could be a fatherly figure for some of us here who just always has to rule with an iron fist. Maybe this could be someone that we, you know, some of you guys may have had children with, where they'll tell lies about things that they don't even need to be telling lies about. They'll tell you all the things that they think everybody wants to hear, and they'll appear to be anything and everything that they feel like everybody wants them to be. But deep down inside, they have all of this torment here that they don't show to anybody. They don't show on social media. They don't, you know, they don't tell anybody. They act like they have it all figured out. They act like they know everything. They'd rather be defensive and try to make others doubt themselves than to ever face what it is that's going on within them. I feel like there's somebody here that's very violent or has, violent tendencies, and they do things to animals, or, they're showing, violent outbursts. It goes from verbal abuse to physical abuse. Playing mind games, gaslighting. All of these things we have pulled away from because we're choosing not to identify with certain people that don't know how to speak to us, that don't know how to connect, that don't want to face the music. There's someone here that likes to get in a lot of fights, and they've done some things that they haven't told anybody about. And there seems to be a lot of people here that have a lot of secrets going on, a lot of family secrets that somebody doesn't want to get out. So they'll try to control the narrative before you even get a chance to speak your piece, because they just need to have a hand in everything so they never mess up their appearances. But at the end of the day, these secrets will be coming out. And I think there's a portion of us, especially to those of us who are Pisces or have Pisces somewhere in your chart, especially within your moon, where there's a lot happening at the subconscious level where you don't need to be dealing with them. You know that they're telling lies. You've known for a long time, even for certain people, especially concerning family. I feel like there's somebody here that does sacrifices. It's really strange. I'm getting Satanistic sort of things coming to mind just with the visual with that Nine of Swords reversed. Somebody's not sleeping, they're just all over the place in life in general. Death, wherever they go, death follows them. Somebody may be thinking about that a lot. Maybe there's been a loss within the family where somebody may have lost a parent that they were really close to, or dealing with some issues where they're not dealing with it properly. But they themselves are dealing with some indiscrepancies within their character where they're not seeing why they either push people away, or they're not seeing why, people are finally standing up to them, or they're not seeing why, everybody's not bending to their will and allowing themselves to be controlled by them anymore. I'm going to cut the deck here. See, it's funny because I was going to name... I was going to title this video Judgment Day, and here we have Judgment. It's Judgment, period, especially with it being the new moon in Aquarius. Anything associated with new moons is all about planting seeds. And we have a choice in who we allow into our minds, into our homes, into our lives. And there's definitely someone here that needs to be completely cut off, blocked. And I believe that a lot of us have already done this because somebody has just said things just to sound good, or just to look good, just to appear a certain way. Or they'll tell you all these things. Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, I promise this, but it's nothing but broken promises and lies. Oh, let's do this, future faking. They'll tell you they want to start a family. They want to do this. They want to work towards this, knowing damn well that they don't want to work towards any of these things that is going to force them to step outside of their comfort zone and to face themselves. They just want a nice, moldable slave who has a lot of insecurities, to just deal with listening to them all day, be depressed, and play this, perpetual professional victim. But they go and wreak havoc everywhere else. See, Three of Pentacles reversed. I see a lot of people surrounding us that, again, they're not perceptive to anyone else's perceptions other than their own. And that ignorance stemming from the unwillingness to learn outside of what they already know and to listen to other people that may know some things that they don't know. Their unwillingness to do that, that cognitive dissonance that just immediately rejects any sort of logic that you try to throw their way, or whenever you try to express yourself and to tell people how you feel, or to express how what they're doing, is causing all of this chaos within your life, and how you're not wanting to take it anymore, and how you're finally standing up for yourself, but yet there's always some sort of reason, or always some sort of justification, or always some sort of explaining away. Well, this happened. Well, that happened. Well, this happened. But this person has used weaponized miscommunication, has waited and held on to all these different wrongdoings that we were definitely unaware of, that may have been unintentional for the most part. But then when it's time for them to unleash, whenever they're angry, they'll just lay it on thick and lay it on everyone, and say how they really feel, when really most of it is fabricated or embellished for the most part. Whoever that is, they need to stay away. They need to stay gone. And thank you guys so much for those of you who have left a like. I hope there's no silent haters in here, but if there are any silent haters, sit on and rotate. So here we have the Five of Wands reversed here, right? We've already cut the deck. That says a lot. I think we're getting to a point to where we don't want to argue with people anymore. We're not competing with other people like we may have felt like we needed to, especially on social media. We're not comparing likes anymore. We're not comparing how much this person has when it comes to money, when it comes to houses, cars, clothes, all these different things, because we're realizing that a lot of people may not be as happy with those things as we feel like we would be if we had those things. A lot of people may be dealing with a lot of things that they don't put up on social media, but we're thinking they have this perfect life just based off this illusion or this image of what they project into the world, not realizing that we need to focus on ourselves and continue to focus on ourselves, because at this very point in time, there seems to be a lot of people that seem to always have, this urge to compete with those around them. Especially when there's no competition, we're realizing that we don't need to be competing with other people around us. We need to be competing with who we were yesterday, and so on and so forth with each following day. We're realizing that we got to pick our battles. We're realizing that there are a lot of things that people will do that are really petty. They'll say something really petty because they know it'll get a reaction out of you. The High Priestess reverse has come back out again as I'm laying out this entire spread. It had already called to me before. We need to find ways to balance ourselves internally and to balance our relationships, to balance our lives. Balance work and home, balance work and play, balance how we approach life. I see a lot of watery and air energy coming up. So a lot going on with the mind and the heart, and a lot going on with maybe some water and air signs where this conflict has been brewing and now we're avoiding it. A lot of us have been frustrated with us showing up for everyone else and not having anyone show up for us as we have for them time and time again. And we're done dealing with this. And because we've completed a multitude of cycles, we've been stuck in our minds about certain decisions that we are being faced with or that we have already made. We know what we must do to regain balance, emotional balance, mental balance, financial balance even. But there seems to be a lot happening right now where upheaval is taking place. And during this process of upheaval, there's a lot of frustration. There's a situation, especially as stated before, because I'm seeing multiple threes here. A lot of us have been focused on prayer and reaching out to our ancestors, reaching out to the angels that protect us. And some of us are having to go through a spiritual awakening or a spiritual journey alone here. And the hardest part has been getting rid of family. The hardest part has been having to let go of certain luxuries when it comes to money. Some of us feel like we're not making progress when it comes to how much money we want to make, what kind of job we want to have, what kind of car we want to have, what kind of house we want to have. Some of us feel like we're running in quicksand. There's been certain people that have been trying to use others for, financial gain. When they got what they wanted, they dipped. There have been a lot of people with hidden agendas, being nice because they want something. Maybe somebody is not looking for love, they're looking for help. A lot of us need to step outside of our own heads. Everything that we've been feeling like we're overthinking about, or things that have been stuck on our minds, all the things that, people have said that may have been stuck on our minds, things that have been done that have been stuck on our minds, we need to release ourselves from that. We're just waiting. Right now is this period where we're starting to realize we're the ones that are keeping ourselves bound to certain people, places, and things that we don't need to be bound to. Our inner voice, some of us have been ignoring our inner voices because we're so trapped in the mind, feeling like we can't move forward, feeling like other people are holding us hostage in some way. But we have a lot more power than we've been letting on, or that we've been realizing. And there's a lot of really positive things we have to look forward to here. We're still working through some of the things that have already completed. Some of us may be dealing with a situation where somebody has gone to jail, or somebody may have showed up, maybe bailed somebody out, or maybe somebody is going into some sort of court date expecting either to go to jail, or something's happening here where a lot of money has to be spent to either get someone out of jail or because someone has gone to jail. There's also a situation here where some of us are feeling stuck in a living situation and a workplace situation that we're not happy with. We feel like we're not progressing. Some of us may have already moved on in many different ways. We see the growth. But there seems to be something that may be holding us back in some way. And the only thing that really seems to be in the way is this feeling of loneliness that we must work through, and staying trapped in the mind, and having to watch out for a lot of people that have ulterior motives. And we may have already been made aware of certain people's ulterior motives. But the more we continue to make the right decisions that remain in our best interest, that allow us to regain that inner balance, that outer balance, we'll start to see progress be made. Some of us are starting to see that money is starting to come in a little bit quicker than it has been for a while. Maybe some of us may have been going through money woes for a while here, feeling like things won't ever improve, but then we start making certain decisions to remove certain people, to cut out certain expenses that are not needed, to stop helping people that have not helped us. And we start to see progress, especially when it comes to taking action towards creative pursuits or something, towards our hobbies. Maybe some of us are realizing we can make, supplemental income just by focusing on creativity or our artistic expression. So whether this is through, drawing, painting, making music, dancing, all of these different things that make us happy and again, allow us to feel that fire in our belly. That's what we're focusing on more so rather than, staying here. Some of us are consciously here. Some of us may, feel like we're drained at the end of the day. Some of us are feeling like we're obstacles and blockages be presented, especially when it comes to money and creative expression. Wanting to move, wanting to break free. But there are still some things, some loose ends that need time. But we will triumph. We've already won. The game's already over. There are definitely some things concerning codependency. Some of us may like to drink a lot. Maybe some of us have a shopping addiction. Maybe we're spending too much on the newest, latest gadgets and the next best thing, the newest, this or that, or, the newest shoes, the newest, whatever. And although it's fine to splurge every now and again, and again on the self, there are some realizations that we realize may be keeping us stuck in place when it comes to wanting to break free from an unstable living situation. There seems to be a lot of people that may use money to keep you codependent upon them. Watch out for people like that. And watch out for, again, going back to certain people and going towards even new people out of loneliness. Because when we do that, we remain in that old stale energy that brought us the blockages and this feeling of being stuck, this feeling of loneliness and the chaos in general. That's only going to keep that energy in our lives. Somebody's definitely dealing with some loss here, but through these endings that we've dealt with, even through anyone that we may have lost, we're able to see transformation in our lives through our healing, through our efforts of focusing on regaining balance, focusing on what allows us to make progress in life, making decisions to stay away from certain people and to keep certain people away that we know only bring bad energy. Break free from your mind. And rather than thinking about how you're going to do things, when you're going to do things, why you're going to do things, what you're going to do when you do these things, taking action is the only way outside of that vicious cycle and to break free from that mental prison. Pick your battles wisely, because there seems to be a lot of people that like to start fights or to start problems or to get the police involved or whatever else is going on over here. Everybody sees that you're trying to move forward and everybody's trying to keep you in place. Somebody doesn't want you to make progress, but see, success is the best revenge. There's a lot of fears on whether you'll be able to manifest anything. A lot of fears about not being able to reach your highest potential. But these have been placed inside of your mind through certain people that you've had around you for quite some time, maybe even for way too long, to the point to where you started to believe their ideologies. You've got to look back and sift through everybody that you know is not allowing you to better yourself. Anyone hindering your growth, trying to silence you, trying to destroy what you built, lie to you, manipulate you, deceive you. Be very wary of these types of people, especially along the spiritual journey and especially during this process of progression. When it comes to you guys wanting to start fresh and to have a new beginning, there's an opportunity that will be missed if we choose to keep even one thing the same. Having some legal troubles here. Somebody's on the wrong side of the law. I'm hearing something getting overturned. Thank you, you guys. Thank you, Janatra. Welcome back, girl. There's a situation here. We either decide to reunite or decide to start fresh. If we decide to reunite or to keep something the same, as stated before, even just one thing, not only will it hold you back, but it won't allow you to manifest what it is that you aspire to be and desire to be. It's just going to block it and keep you in place and creating that same energy throughout the rest of this year. Let's clarify these. Let me see the Chariot. Well, we have the Three of Swords reversed and the Lovers reversed. Some of us are dealing with the Gemini when it comes to that air energy I brought up earlier, where somebody has multiple irons in the fire, and they have many different options, many different one-night stands or people to flirt with, people to entertain, but then lost it all in the pursuit of more and in the pursuit of something better. And now we're reaching this place of forgiveness because we realize that we have to move on from people that are more self-involved. All they care about is themselves and what happens to their things and everything that's going on in their life. And whenever you try to talk to this person, it always redirects back to them and what's going on, what they would do or what they wouldn't do or how they, it's always about them. And we're releasing ourselves from this. Some of us are forgiving ourselves from staying in a loveless marriage. Some of us are forgiving ourselves for, staying with certain people, especially somebody who's a Pisces, especially. Some of us found out they were lying, again, just not being who they said that they were at all. Or it could be a Cancer like that as well. There's a lot of water and air references with this energy where I'm seeing that I had to make a decision because we've reached this crossroad in life. And we already know where this one road goes down. But there's this other path that we know we don't know a damn thing of what's going to happen. And it's a big risk. But would we rather take this big risk and fall flat on our face a million times until we get to where we want to be, rather than staying in where we've always been? And I think a lot of us are making this decision to move forward, and by our decision to move forward and to choose ourselves and to seek solace in solitude and to break past that feeling of loneliness and realize that some of us need that solitude for introspection. Some of us need that time to really sift through what it is that we may be doing or what we may believe deep down inside about ourselves, about who we should attract. Maybe some of us are realizing we've settled with certain people. Maybe we've, dealt with one night stands and realized we want more than that. Some of us are realizing maybe we don't want to be with the twin flame. We don't want to be with a soulmate. We need to be with ourselves. We need to choose ourselves this year. We need to date ourselves and marry ourselves. There are still some things that need to come to the light. There are still some things that we're working through subconsciously that we may be unaware of just yet. And it may be frustrating because we haven't reached that point where we need to. There's definitely a situation. We've already talked about the fires in Australia. I see this, I see natural disasters, tornadoes, storms. I'm seeing floods. I'm seeing arson. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff with this tower here. So many truths coming to light that are shaking everybody up to the point to where nobody can ignore what's right in front of them. And it's do or die at this point. Do you go back out of loneliness? Do you stay comfortable in something that, maybe you're settling in? This could be just more than a relationship as well. Are we staying in the same place, living situation, or are we keeping certain family members around because it's familiar? Are we really living? Are we really giving ourselves a chance? Show me the Ten of Pentacles reversed. I've noticed a lot lately as well with certain people that do not like the truth. And no matter what you do to try to get that truth across to them, they will say anything and do anything to make you believe that you're wrong and to make you believe that what you're saying isn't true. But then sometime down the road, they'll come tail betwixt the legs admitting everything. I've dealt with this recently. Because they didn't want to face themselves and admit what was going on with themselves, they tried to make everybody else think that it was their fault, when really they were either not saying something that was really wrong with them, they were the ones wearing masks, or they just don't have this ability to look within themselves, or they choose not to. But we're going to have to make major decisions, because so far I see 6 major arcana cards, and it's all about needing to change the attitude. Changing our beliefs about ourselves, our beliefs about what we can manifest and what we can do. There's also a 7th one that I'm just now noticing, where we've got to stay to ourselves, whether we like it or not, in order for us to integrate not only these lessons that we've been learning throughout the past decade, and to be able to truly heal, in order for us to close any openings within our auric field that allows us to keep attracting self-involved people. Everything that you need to know is already within you. So whether you're coming across different spiritual advisors, be very wary, because some of them can give you this cookie cutter visual of what's going on, sound good, and leading everybody astray just for a paycheck. Government officials starting to come out about some of the shady dealings that have been going on. lawyers doing shady dealings, family members taking your kindness for weakness, people taking your kindness for weakness. Some of you guys maybe damn Taurus that you're dealing with, where there's been so much conflict with this person that it's more conflict than happiness with this person, and it's done. There seems to be a lot of people here that don't have the capacity to love. They don't even love themselves. But yet there are so many Bible thumpers or people that feel like they need to push their beliefs onto other people to try and make everybody else feel bad for what it is that they believe, anything that differs from their own. But then lo and behold, when you look at their life with a magnifying glass, you see that they don't live up to everything that they preach about. It's time to rebel against any family members that seem to think that they know what's best for you better than you do. It's time to rebel from any friendships or quote unquote friendships that appear this way as well, because there are certain people that will give you bad advice purposefully to keep you coming back to them. They'll purposefully tell you that you can't do this and can't do that, knowing damn well that you can. They'll purposefully not celebrate any of your successes, but talk shit about all of your losses and failures, just so they can feel better about themselves. See, it's 3 of Wands reversed. I'm going to clarify all these real quick. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Yep. 2 of Wands. Definitely some rock bottom hitting, you know. Okay, you know. Good fortune is coming our way, but right now things are on the downward turn. See, you got to hit rock bottom for there to be a way back up. And that's exactly what we were touching on earlier. And I see that happening. And a lot of other people that have not yet hit their rock bottom, that have not yet received their consequences, they're going to receive them. But there are certain relationships that just aren't going to go in our favor, whether we want them to or not, no matter how hard we try, no matter how many times we try to explain the situation, no matter how many times we try to be logical, be calm, come from a place of love, come from a place, you know, there are certain people that just will not accept that olive branch. They will not accept the opportunity to do better and be better. And it will force us to have to step outside of our nest. Spread our wings and fly away, because there seems to be a lot of situations where, you know, especially with certain people that may come back for some of us here. Some of us may have realized that we've been stuck on certain things for so long that we're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it's time to release it. Making a decision to release the past is going to set all of this right. And there may be some people that will try to come back with that 6 of Swords reversed from earlier, where you guys may have a heart-to-heart. You may finally understand some things. You may finally see a little bit deeper past the resentment, past the pain. And you realize certain people are just too weak, or they just choose to be who they are, and it's not anything personal. And once we break past that barrier of thinking that it's our fault, or thinking that we're doing something wrong, or thinking that whatever negative about ourselves, once we break past all of that and we regain balance, we start to focus more so on self-care, we start to put self-care first, that's where we can see the shift. That's where we can feel like we can finally release ourselves from our mental prison. But we've got to start fresh. 8 of Swords. Some of us are dealing with the Virgo here, Hermit reversed, you know. Some of us may have been trapped in our minds about somebody here that hid from us or ran from a situation. Maybe they were just really paranoid about certain things, or, you know, they're always thinking that everybody's always trying to hurt them or cause problems, but that's not really the issue, you know. They just don't want to look at themselves. Some of us may have withdrawn in some way or isolated ourselves in some way because we're so tired of dealing with the same type of people. We're starting to see that maybe some of us may have attracted certain new people that, remind us of these old stale situations where people just can't think and feel for anybody else but themselves. They don't have any empathy. We're so tired of dealing with that we've just been pulling back from everybody and just saying, fuck it. Some of us are dealing with a very jealous mother here, and I've been dealing with a lot of friendships here that are very jealous, and they won't tell you that they're jealous. They'll tell you, that they got your back, and, they think that what you're doing is really cool, and you're really awesome, and, they may even brag to you, about you to other people, but deep down inside, they don't like it. Deep down inside, they feel like it's a slight against them. If they see anybody else doing better than they are, or knowing more than they do, or being prettier than they are in their mind, they have a problem with it. This is a mother that's very aggressive. They're not a nurturing mother. That's definitely not a mother that you can go to tell your feelings. They'll always try and make you feel guilty for feeling the way that you do, or they'll just outright deny what it is that you feel. They'll deny anything that they've said and done to hurt you, or they'll just have, again, no empathy for anything that you feel, think, say, And it's time to release the load. Some of us may still be working through some insecurities coming out of situations where third party, fourth party, multi-party situations throughout the past. Maybe we've dealt with that so many damn times that we're just like, you know what? I don't have time to deal with this shit. It seems like it's the same old situation, different face, and I don't have time for it. But whoever this is, real jealous, Don't ever want anybody else to be happy if they're not happy. Hell, they'll even question you, why are you so happy? There's a motherly figure here that has a big temper, There's a situation where, especially dealing with third-party situations, especially concerning that Lovers reversed, Hierophant reversed earlier, all these threes that I'm seeing, all this stuff that I'm seeing coming up here. Cheater, pumpkin eater, just eating all the pumpkin seeds and shit. Like it's an eating contest. Just out here tripping. Somebody likes to do triangulation a lot. Make other people jealous, Somebody's feeling really insecure. So they need validation from anybody and everybody surrounding them all the damn time. Show me the High Priestess reversed. Okay, so we have the strength. Some of you guys may be dealing with a Leo here. I see some energy here where we've been strong for a long time. And everything that we've been hearing inside, deep down inside, we continue to just, maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm just, no, maybe you're not. Maybe what you're hearing is exactly what you need to hear. Maybe you don't want to hear it right just then and there. But whoever you've been having surrounding you recently and in the recent past and all that good stuff, they got to go. Even the people on social media, people that you've probably never even met, need to get the help off of your page because somebody's trying to be nosy. Somebody's trying to be doing all this extra stuff behind the scenes, causing drama, causing rifts between people for no reason. I don't like this because this has been causing a lot of stress. Maybe a mother that likes to yell at her kids all the damn time, or she's not loving. She's not friendly, You don't know when she's going to get set off the next minute, so you just don't say nothing because it's like, you know what? And it's funny because I actually did talk to my mom not too long ago, and she blew up on me that had absolutely nothing to do with anything. I made a comment saying, dang, I can't ever have a conversation with my mom to myself. And I was joking, and she flipped the fuck out. blew up. And I was like, I wasn't even trying to cause an argument. Like, I don't even know why you're over here trying to demonize me for a simple comment that I made, and then going back and blowing up to the point to where you just got to hang up, choosing your boyfriend or whoever that you're with, boyfriend number 1,000, you know, as if you haven't been married multiple times, out here trying to act like you got it all figured out. You over here trying to talk shit to me for something that I didn't even try to do. And when I stood up to myself about it, I said, okay, whatever, you gonna hang up? Yep. That's what you always do, you know, like that's gonna resolve anything. You know, and at that point, I just decided, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with it anymore. And they came back around with a text message talking about, I'm sorry, it doesn't help that I'm on my cycle. Why is it every time that you have to scream at me and start some shit with me, it's always about your fucking cycle? Let's go ahead and cut that shit out right now because I don't have time for that. Did I say anything? No, I don't have time to argue because that'll probably be turned into an argument too. Screaming match, you know, I don't have time for this shit. I'm done. I don't care. I'm not even trying to make, I'm not blocking anybody. I'm not, you know, and then I noticed that certain family members reached out to me after we had a conversation. So you're still out there running your mouth. Did I say anything to her about that? No, because she's probably going to turn that into an argument too. So you know what I decided to do? I already know what's going on here. I'm going to continue to talk about my childhood trauma like I've been trying to avoid all year last year. So I was supposed to do that video last year before the domestic abuse story, but I'm going to tell you like this. Everything's coming out this year. I don't care anymore. It's time to face it. It's time to face up. It's not to start any bullshit because that's not what I do. It's simply to acknowledge what's been going on and to move the fuck on because I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just over it. I'm done. No more chasing you. No more talking about what happened to me as a kid, and you just brushing it off and shit. I'm telling you that my stepdad touched me, my dad touched me. I'm telling you, and you just acting like, oh well, they said that they didn't do it. Well, what fucking predator would say yes? I've been touching my child. Who says that? Nobody. So why are you explaining all this shit away? But I'm not gonna get into all of that just yet. Just little stuff like that. If you have a mother that's like that, or anybody that's like that, and they try to act like they don't know what happened, they know what the fuck happened. They know what's up, but they keep just trying to explain it away. Explain it away. You're crazy. You're crazy. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was that. But then when it comes to you, there's no excuses being made for you. You're always being talked shit about. That's the shit that I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Nine of Pentacles reverse. Any female friends that you guys are dealing with, y'all better be careful because there's somebody out there that's really trying to emulate you. And I know a couple of people that I can apply that to. But see, that there's a difference from trying to be me and actually being me. And they'll never be me. So they might as well just go ahead and with their stinking ass self and just go ahead and be themselves. But from what I'm saying, we're just going to have to make a decision to choose ourselves because we can't control anybody. See. And all that getting upset, you know, I could get upset all day long, but at the end of the day, what does that change? I get upset, talk shit all day like everybody else and get swept away in the smear campaigns and try and prove myself right and all this other stuff. But it's going to happen eventually because at the end of the day, I don't have time for it anymore. All that fake shit is out the door. Done, son. Done, son. Nine of Pentacles reversed. So I will be talking about that. I will be posting about that. For those of you that would like to see that, y'all are more than welcome to let me know in the chat. If this is something that's going to happen, it has to happen. Because if I don't talk about the situation with both dark parents, it's never going to change. I'm always going to hold on to that. I'm always going to be staying silent like the little girl that I used to be. We're not staying silent anymore. I always felt bad. I don't want to put our business out there. But you know what? It's not about putting my business out there. I started this journey. And I'm going to continue to walk along this journey of me sharing my story and of me using my voice. Because when I regressed and I had this time away for the millionth time this time, I realized that I'm tired of that. No, I will not stay silent. No, you will not bully me into submission and into silence. I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say. Yes, I know that you watch my videos Come to find out she's watching my videos. Can't even fucking leave a like or share the video or at least give me any support or praise. But you sure are watching them. You sure are remembering verbatim what I'm talking about. But you can't give support. You over here taking up for some of my exes out here that you don't even know was abusing me physically, emotionally, mentally. Actually, you did know, but you're still taking up for them. But then when it comes to me, I'm just a fucking demon from hell. I'm done with it. I'm over it. That's it. So talking about it this year is going to solidify that decision to be done. That's it. Because all this extra stuff right here, all this stuff right here, Ten of Swords, all that stuff that's been going on over the mind, staying stuck, dealing with people wronging you, people putting you down, knowing damn well they're trying to bop off you, and then they still trying to steal your ideas. I see everybody, all those readers out there. I see y'all. Thanks for watching me and not giving credit to some of the shit that y'all be saying in your readings. Thank you to everybody in my family that's been doing the same thing, because guess what? It's done. You can't emulate what you can never be. Keep being your stale self and stay the hell up out of what I'm doing over here. Trying to keep me down, taking my ideas. Why don't you be original and come up with your own shit? Be original. All these people out here talking shit, family, ex-friends, all this other stuff, y'all keep talking because y'all are still in the same spot. I'm not going to be like y'all. Period. With 3 T's, Son of Cups and Son of Pentacles. I love how these two are upright because love is coming in and money is coming in. You're going to be faced with having to make a decision. There may be 2 people here that you have to make a decision between. It's going to be crazy. And there's going to be a lot that you're going to be tapping into when it comes to your artistic expression, when it comes to writing, when it comes to drawing, when it comes to singing, dancing, whatever it is that you love to do artistically, continue to do it. Some of you guys are realizing that you guys may have an expensive hobby and you guys may have been trying for years to promote it and trying to come out on top with all these fake ass people, all these cookie cutter ass, robotic ass, same mold, you know, all this extra shit that everybody's trying to be every day, but you realize you're different and it's not going to get you the popularity of trying to be fake and trying to do all this extra shit that everybody else is doing. So you realize, you know what, this is just going to be a hobby for me. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to do what I came here to do. I'm done competing and I'm going to have some decisions to make. Son of Cups, all about taking action. Son of Pentacles, taking action. Take action when it comes to matters of your heart. Take action when it comes to your creative expression. Take action when it comes to wanting to make a move when it comes to your home, your money, and everything that you want out of life. Because if it is to be, it is up to me. So make it happen. Star reverse. I see some Aquarius coming up right here. There's somebody here that is just not healing. There's a lack of inner peace. There's a lack of peace surrounding you guys. Try and find that little slice of peace. Try to find a way to protect your peace. It may be through working out. It may be going out and taking a walk, going to the park by yourself, doing something, maybe listening to music and drawing, listening to music and coloring, doing something, whatever it is that you enjoy to do. Do it. And don't let anybody stop you, because I see a lot of people that will try. There are some flying monkeys that you guys need to be aware of and to watch out for. Be wary, because I'm telling you, if they haven't come yet, they're coming. That's not to alarm you, just to let you know what to look out for. Don't let anybody try and use you for money or to make you dependent upon them for money. Don't give up what it is that you were striving for the comfort of whatever anybody else is selling you a dream, future faking, doing all this extra shit. Don't fall for it. And whatever it is you need to do to protect your peace, you need to remove anybody that disrupts that. Death. Yeah, there's a Scorpio here. Things are ending. But Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, something is definitely ending. Somebody's moving on. We're moving on. We found them out. Somebody got caught. If you're a lurker like me, where you going on everybody's profile and people don't even know what you're looking at, but you be looking at everything that people don't even know that you be seeing, and they be trying to act like they don't know what you're talking about when you confront them on something. But you confront them and then you got facts and you got screenshots and shit like I do. That's the type of shit that I be talking about. Can't hide that. You can hide all you want on social media, but when I'm lurking, you're not going to know what you need to hide. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to just act like I don't know. Just act. Just like everybody else, right? The magician reversed. Return negative energy back to sender 100-fold. I'm sick of this. Now here we have the Fool, the Five of Wands reversed, and the Two of Chalices coming out again. Some of us are hoping to reunite with somebody here, or maybe somebody's offering a relationship, and maybe there's a situation where we may have come out of out of a time of separation with somebody, or a time of argument where a lot of truths have come about. Be wary of reuniting with anybody, because there's somebody here that's a con artist, and that's all that they ever were, all that they will ever be. And they like to cheat. They like to have their pick of the litter. I also feel like the Eight of Cups here, anybody that's dealing with abandonment issues, dealing with a mother that may have abandoned you, or dealing with both parents or one of the other parents, and dealing with friendships where you may have felt left out in the cold, dealing with certain relationships where you guys have grown apart. And if you feel like you need to change your mind about a certain decision that you may have made before, maybe you wanted to move forward with somebody and reunite, maybe you felt like they were on the same page as you, and now you're realizing, you know what, I don't have time for this. I need to release all this, that, we may have had some sort of heart to heart. Maybe we may have had some sort of understanding, together, but at this point in time, I want more than this. And I'm realizing if I keep certain people around here, I'm just settling. Why am I settling? And once you figure out why you're settling, maybe deep down you feel like you don't deserve any better, or you feel like that you are incapable of getting any better, but that's a lie. It just requires us to live up to our highest potential. And it's all about whether we're willing to really commit to that, to commit to ourselves as much as we want, or may have wanted other people to commit to us. We have to commit to ourselves first, in the same way that we want others to commit to us. And some of us may be realizing that we haven't been committing to ourselves half as well as we should have been, which is why inadvertently and unintentionally we may have attracted certain people that just don't know how to commit. But I'll tell you one thing, the success, the triumph that we will have, whoever needs to hear our story, everybody's going to be talking. All the clucks and the chicken heads, just pecking away and shit. Everybody's going to find out the truth eventually. And it's going to expose everything. Be prepared to deal with angry people. Be prepared to deal with anybody trying to gaslight you, try and make you come back and believe whatever the hell they're trying to sell you, but don't buy it. Remember the Nine of Pentacles reverse. Watch what you buy. Watch what you pay attention to. Watch what you pay for. Somebody may try to oversell something. Somebody may try to make you give more of yourself than what's required. Ace of Pentacles reverse. We have this Daughter of Pentacles. There's going to be an earth sign that's going to message you. Maybe we're going to turn down an offer from somebody here. Or maybe somebody's dealing with some legal issues or dealing with the loss here. Maybe somebody wasn't able to get something, or maybe they're just expressing something about, hey, you know what? I thought I wanted to move forward with something, or I'm not going to do it. Or maybe we receive a message and then we decide not to say anything. Maybe there's an opportunity, a job opportunity that maybe we feel like we deserve better, and so we're not going to settle for that job opportunity. Maybe there's a house, or maybe certain places that we're going to, house tour, apartment tour, or whatever, and we're realizing, you know what, as long as I've been looking, and as desperate as I'm feeling right now to find somewhere new, I'm not going to settle. See some Sagittarius energy here. Some of us are realizing that focusing on the long term is all that matters. Keeping ourselves balanced is all that matters. It's not about instant gratification. It's not about getting a whole, getting a million, like how I was thinking I should have 1 million subscribers. I should have this much money by this year, and I should have this many views on this video. And I got swept away in it. And it took away the joy of what I started this channel for to begin with. I've dealt with a lot of people that got me turned around and looking at shit that has nothing to do with what I'm striving for. And I allowed it because I wanted myself to be distracted in some way. Because I'm addicted to pain. I'm addicted to who I used to be. Addicted to how I used to feel. But there comes a time where we have to end things once and for all. And it's not for anything necessarily bad. Maybe for once you guys finally understand each other. But the time has come to separate once and for all. It's time to accept things as they are. We have the Chariot upright and the Six of Wands upright. Something told me to look underneath this Temperance card, y'all. Let's count the major arcana now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with this Hierophant reverse. That calculates down to a 3. Keep reaching out, keep praying. Everything spiritually that you're drawn to. If you happen to find some video on YouTube and you're like, oh, should I resonate with this? Keep going. If you find spiritual advisors such as Muji, Papa G, Les Brown, like I've been finding, or anybody that could mentor you, or anything positive that you can find and start listening to, meditation, Reiki, whatever it is. Maybe you're drawn to being a shaman. Maybe you're drawn to utilizing your intuitive gifts. Maybe there's just something that you already know deep down within yourself. New moon spells, making new moon water, rituals, whatever it is. If you're drawn to crystals, if you're drawn to something, take it and run with it, and don't let anybody in your family or anybody that you used to call a friend deter you away from what you need to do, because you know what you need long term, and it's time to accept things as they are. We are already triumphing. We already see this Chariot in the recent past, and now we see the 6 of Wands coming up and clarifying this entire energy. We've already won. The game is over. We win. That was back in the last couple of collectives. If y'all didn't see that one, go check it out. But I guess let this be a continuation. The more that we take the necessary actions within the home, cleaning our home, taking care of ourselves. We want to get our hair done, our nails done. If we don't feel like going out, somebody may invite us to go out. They may want us to go out on a date, or they may want to visit us, and we don't want to fucking do anything. And we don't have to. We don't have to explain anything to anybody. We can just do whatever the hell we want to do. We just need to change the attitude about ourselves. Letting ourselves fly away and not be trapped. Not staying in the mind. Change your mind. You may be doing something right now, or trying to wait on somebody, or trying to chill with somebody, or trying to reconcile with somebody. Somebody may be trying to reconcile with you. Somebody may be trying to come back. Maybe it could be a family member, parent, whatever. Stick with what you know deep down inside. Continue to make that effort every single day. It's an everyday effort. Like I told that person, they think that it's a one-time thing and you're healed. Nope. It's a lifetime effort. It's every single day. And for the first time in my life, I never thought that I would say that I understand what Jake Paul was saying, bitch. But when he says that it's every day, bro, it finally clicked. Just like this 8 of Pentacles, it's every day, bro. Master your skill, master your craft, make that effort. Don't allow perfectionism and procrastination to stand in the way of achieving greatness. Certain things aren't happening right now because they're not meant to happen right now. But you continue to do what you need to do. Don't allow people to bring conflict to your door. Don't allow people's behavior to control how you respond, how you react, and how you feel, how you think about yourself. Because that's all that the bottom line has been with certain people here. Maybe deep down inside they know that they're not good enough, and tried to make you feel as though you weren't good enough, because they couldn't handle just simply removing the ego and accepting the truth and admitting the truth. But they see that you're like this butterfly. They see that you're like this spider. Spider didn't take a day to build Rome. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it can be destroyed in one. Be careful who you keep around you, because those will be the ones to cause that chaos and destruction. Stand up for your truth always. Don't let anybody silence you. Don't let anybody talk over you either. Don't let anybody intimidate you either, because I feel like there's somebody here that likes to try and intimidate or try and push past your boundaries, or to make you feel like you're rushed. You got to hurry up and make a decision. You don't have to make a fucking decision at all. You also don't have to have any sympathy for anybody that just likes to talk about all the pain that they've been through, as if nobody in the world has dealt with pain besides them. As if we don't know what pain is like. Like they're the only ones in the fucking world that knows what trauma is. I look back to how I was on this channel, and it's funny because it has changed a lot. I have changed a lot. I was a little bit more soft-spoken. I was trying to be a little bit, deep with what I was trying to say. And, I like my messages. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them. But at the end of the day, I realized that there's a power, an infinite power within myself that has been discovered. And the power isn't personal. It lies within all of you, but it's all about choice. Learning how to harness this power. For some of us, we can do it through our anger. We're learning how to channel our anger in a healthier way. putting it into our creativity, finding constructive and productive and positive ways to channel any negative feelings, thoughts, feeling stuck. We're releasing all of these different things. Release what you thought you knew. Release everyone who you thought you knew. And just be. There's no set deadline. We're so focused on reaching our destination that we forget that life is a journey. And the butterfly didn't start off as one. It's all about the journey. But whatever does not serve your highest purpose, it's time to release. And even if you've released them, you've moved on to a different place, whatever it may be that you've done to physically move forward in your life, continue to commit to yourself every single day. Stay consistent to yourself and watch things grow. Watch things progress. I almost want to change this to Lotus TV 888, girl. But I'm going to hold back. I'm going to keep it 444 for now, y'all. But change is necessary. And change has already come. But what we do with that change determines where we'll end up, where we're headed. An attitude of gratitude. Maintain that sort of attitude. Even through loss, even through conflict, even through changes, and even through your challenges, you will prevail, you will triumph, and people will start to recognize you as long as you keep pushing forward. If something doesn't serve your long-term bottom line, it's time to cut your losses. If somebody may be offering their heart or offering some sort of opportunity, a home or what have you, and it's not up to your standards, don't rush into it just because you feel like you need to get out or just because you feel like you need to make a move. Maybe right now you're not making a move for a reason. Find that reason. Find the lessons within your losses. Integrate. And change. You know, besides the whole controlling aspects of my character, I feel like I need to change the way I view things as well. You know, I've hurt people unintentionally. And I've had to forgive myself for things. I still hold on to certain regrets about some of the things I decided to do, the people I decided to pursue, and all these different things. But at the end of the day, all these things that I've been chasing for, all this lavish lifestyle and perfect man, perfect friends, perfect this, always got to be perfect on camera, got to be perfect on the channel, all these things that I've been chasing for and feeling like I'm a failure because I don't have 1 million subscribers or whatever else I was starting to chase, or 100,000 views, or compare myself to everybody else. All these things don't matter at the end of the day. Because what does all of that matter if you don't have it to share with those that you love? If you don't have anyone around you, if you were never to experience unconditional love, if you're never able to find your tribe, who gives a shit if you're rich? Who gives a shit if you have Prada shoes and Gucci, you know, purses and all this extra shit that at the end of the day you really don't own when we leave this planet? And if there are people who don't value you and you've given them more than one chance, it's time to take a chance on yourself. We don't have to be attached to anything anymore. We don't need a drink to feel good. We don't need anybody else to tell us anything that already lies within us. It's good to be perceptive to other people's perceptions, of course. But understand, the things that we accumulate in life, the money, the status, all these things that we think are so important, all the likes and the popularity and nice cars and all that, We don't own any of this shit. So what do you want out of life? Once you figured it out, go get it. And on that note, you guys, I love you very much. I'm back. Stay tuned and stay strong. But most of all, stay blessed, not stressed. Peace and love.